All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mi Duole podcast. I'm Stuart Anderson. This is just a short introduction before we hear from Dr. Dean Walker. Grateful for Dean and thankful for Chip for joining on this episode as we get to know Dean. I know that you'll love hearing his story, hearing advice from Dean, and especially learning a bit about his current situation and the attitude he has as he battles cancer. We're grateful for Dean, not only as a team sponsor, you wear his logo on your chest. Grateful for Dean, but what an incredible support and example to everybody on the team. I've been on many rides, and we talk about this on the podcast, where Dean takes control of a medical situation and just uses what he knows and who he is to make the situation better. Super grateful for Dean, his example, his leadership, and I know you'll love hearing from him in this podcast. Grateful for everybody who is sponsoring the team, especially our great partners at Volet. Our kit store is open right now and will be open until January 8th. So this is one of our kit orders for the year. We'll probably do one or two more. We'll open the 40th anniversary kit order one more time. But this order is for our white and black kits. So get your orders in. The order will close on January 8th. We're looking forward to Team Camp in April. All of the information about Team Camp is on the website, miduole.com. You'll see locations, routes, meals, as well as any details about what we're going to be wearing. So we're looking forward to camp already and warmer weather. So go to the website to look for that. Grateful for everybody. Thankful for those that are planning our Zwift rides. It's a lot of work behind the scenes. Super grateful for Clark Davis, who's kind of become the master of our Zwift rides, planning and Google Docking and making sure that we've got everything planned and dialed in. So it's been a lot of fun. Grateful for those that are kind of stepping up now who have never planned rides before. It's fun to see the routes and have you as leaders. So big thanks to all those who are participating indoors with us on Zwift. And if you want to be part, join the Mi Duole group on the Zwift Companion app, and you can ride with us indoors. All right, that's it. Thankful for Dean and Chip. Hopefully you enjoy this episode, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Well, very good. Dr. Dean, I am me and Chip. We already pushed record. Let's get it. Let's just do this. You guys ready?
Sure.
Nice. Dean, episode 99. How cool is that?
Oh, man.
You know what? It was meant to be. Wayne Gretzky is one of my heroes. So there you go, number 99.
Very cool. All right, so we got with us Dean Walker, Spencer Chipping is episode 99. Dean, how was your day today at work? We already kind of talked about it, but office day. We tell everybody what you do.
Oh, I'm an orthopedic surgeon.
Orthopedic surgeon.
I take care of primarily knees and shoulders are kind of my deal. So yeah, day in the office. I refer to it as day in the penalty box.
Penalty box. Chip, how was your day?
Great day. I was able to get up to Snowbird for just a little bit today.
Ooh.
Yep.
Nice.
Holiday break. Yeah.
You guys placing orders for so kit orders are open right now. What is your go-to jersey, Dean? What is the one you that you love the most? Which style? Which style?
I don't know, the black one.
Perfect, black one. Chip, what about you? What is your most needed top and bottom? Give your recommendation.
The super thermal on top, size down one size so that it fits tight, and I like that because I enjoy cold weather riding. And I'm going to go with also this time of year, the Artico long pant bib that now has the cargo pockets. The cash bib pockets. So warm. So nice.
Chip has a pair of down pants he puts on when he rides his fat bike down Mill Creek. Did you wear them yesterday?
Yesterday, I had to pull them on 14 degrees at the parking lot of Mill Creek. 14. But those do the trick. I think I need to go with even a pant over a short.
Crazy, dude. Well, anybody planning on riding this weekend? Tomorrow looks pretty good. Dean, what do you got planned?
I'm gonna try to get out tomorrow. I don't have any plans, but yeah, the weather looks okay. Maybe, something up out of the muck in the air. But yeah, outside
Cool.
sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I agree. So, Dean, I usually ask someone close to you to write just a little introduction, kind of a fun thing. And I asked Sharp to write an introduction for you. And I sent Dave a text. I sent Dave a text after he wrote it, and I said, Dave, I hope that if I want a friend who would write something as good as this for me. It is actually pretty awesome that Sharp would write something like this without just off the top of his head. It's pretty cool. So I'll read this. There's hopefully a lot of stuff we can talk about as you get to know Dean and are introduced to him and all the great things that he's created in his life. So I'll read this. Dean, you can stop me anytime with not true, or you want to expound on that, or anything. Sound good?
Okay. Perfect.
Dean the Machine Walker is one of the greatest humans on planet Earth. Although Dean may not be a Mi Duole OG, he is a cycling OG that fits right in with the Mi Duole tribe. Dean is a cycling legend in his own right and has notched his place on the annals of Mi Duole by putting the O in stupid with many great cycling feats and cycling injuries. Dean has done Leadville at least 2 times. He cracked his pelvis when he crashed doing a Leadville warm-up ride, and then on a subsequent year's Leadville training ride, broke several ribs when he decided to take a nap in a loamy patch of bushes on a hairpin turn on Armstrong, only to find a hidden tree stump underneath. Is that all true, Dean? Do we need to expound some of this stuff?
Yeah. I've ridden Leadville 4 times. That's the only incorrect part there.
Okay.
I did. I crashed at the Leadville training camp. It wasn't even really a crash. I just the top of power line coming back in, and you're exhausted. You're seeing stars, and my hand slipped off the handlebar, and when I hit a rock, boom, down I went, and I just happened to land on a rock, and I cracked my pelvis. But I got to sit on the side of the trail and wait for the the 4x4 to come pick me up, and sat there and chatted with Dave Weens for an hour. So that was cool.
And then you've tried. Have you actually completed 4 Leadvilles?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. First one was in 2013, and then I don't know, 19, 20, maybe 18, 19, and 21, something like that.
Man, you're a glutton.
Well, I've got that stupid big belt buckle hanging over my head. I've been trying to get it, and I've come close, but not quite there. Yeah. 16 minutes was the closest I got. 9:16. So,
okay,
I'm trying.
You're getting it one day.
Yeah.
All right. I'll continue. While Dean favors the mountain bike with the local legend up the Rattlesnake hairpins, he is no stranger to the road. He's competed in several LOTOJAs and is a regular up the summer Thursday Big Cottonwood PC Loop Sufferfest. Dean loves sweet bikes, which includes his custom hand-painted open gravel from Italy. I've seen it. Hopefully you've all seen it. And all of Dean's cycling feats are inconsequential relative to the real man that he is. Dean is a man of God and the most generous, loving, humble, kind person you will ever meet. And oh, did I mention he's also a surgeon? Dean is our go-to guy for shoulder, hip, and knee replacements. I can now do head, shoulders, knees, and toes with the best of the 6-year-olds. More importantly, Dean is a man of honor and integrity, a loyal friend who will offer you the jersey off his back whenever you need it. I'm humbled to see how Dean is currently making a sweet concoction of lemonade with the lemons he has recently been given. Dean is a rock. Dean is your wingman, a genuine friend, and it is my honor to consider him one of my friends. I present to you Dean Walker, the man, the myth, the OG of a true Italian backyard brick oven pizza. Very cool.
Well, that's very, very kind of Dave to say those things.
Yeah. I mean, you guys ride, did you guys ride together more than just when you started riding together here as part of the team?
Yeah, Dave and I rode together before I joined Mi Duole for probably a year-ish kind of thing. And I kept kind of resisting it because frankly, I felt like I was over my skis a little bit riding with all you fast kids.
Hmm.
But he talked me into it and haven't looked back.
Cool.
Yeah.
Chip, any questions from the intro? There's a lot in there.
Yeah, there is. And the two of the good things that Sharp brought out there. One, that custom paint by that on your I've seen it a number of times. Is that on your gravel or a road bike?
A gravel bike.
Yeah,
We got to
it
hear
is.
the story of it, Dean. Can you tell us about it?
So Open, I've been kind of a fan of Open, and I got their hardtail mountain bike, I don't know, several years ago, thinking it would be the super light, super fast bike to help me get my 9 hours at Leadville. And so then they came up with their gravel bikes, and periodically they'll have a bike of the month up there on their website. And they had a bike of the month. It was that custom painted one, and they had a run of 10 of them.
Wow.
And I just on a whim sent Andy you send him a text saying, "Hey, give me more information," and you text the owner of Open. It's just a small company.
Wow.
And the owner Andy answers back and says, "Hey, it's all yours." And so kind of on a knee jerk reflex, I put my order in and bought it, much to the chagrin of my wife. She's like, "You did what?" Oh,
very cool.
It is.
Yeah, so it was just a total impulse buy, and I haven't looked back, and I love the bike. So
Yeah, so nice.
Dean, can you talk a little bit about your life as a surgeon? If you didn't know, you wear Dean's logo on your chest and have for the last 3 years. He's a gracious provider of sponsorship of the team. Can you talk a little bit about where you work?
yeah, so I'm part of Granger Medical Clinic. I've been here my whole life. I'm actually at work right now. I've been here my whole career, going on almost 30 years. And I started out doing a little bit of everything in orthopedics, and have kind of gravitated towards knees and shoulders over the years. I've done a lot of sports medicine, covered a lot of athletic events and teams over the years. Covered high schools. I used to take care of Salt Lake Community College. I was the Utah Grizzlies doc for several years. I've also, oh by the way, grew up playing hockey and coached hockey while my son was growing up, and so I've got fairly extensive hockey background. I was the doc in charge of the hockey venues during the Olympics, and that was really cool. That was a lot of fun. So I was at every Olympic hockey event I was at, and in charge of the medical side of things.
Nice.
So,
Do you still have one of those purple coats?
mine was red.
Red.
Yeah, medical got red coats.
Ooh, yep. Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then I think Dave was talking about you replaced he says I can now do knees, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. You recently replaced his knee, correct? In the summer?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. Last summer we gave Dave, and he kept complaining about it, and I said, "Well, you just need to get it fixed." So he finally bit the bullet. And, I think he's happy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very cool.
His leg's at least straight now. So there's that.
Dean, I don't know if you remember it, but immigration one morning, late fall, it was one of the first rides I'd ever done with you. I didn't really even know you very well. And we came up on I don't even know. I don't know how they crashed, where they crashed, but they slid out right at the fire station, and they were panicking. Guys we didn't know, ready to call the ambulance. And you just pulled up. Chip, were you there for this?
I held Dean's bike, and Dean just went to work.
He just went to work. He walked over the guys. He's like, "Listen, I'm gonna check you out. Let's see how you did." And I just remember from that moment on, how cool it was to have somebody with because usually, when a bike crash happens, it's like panic. What do we do? Lay there? Don't lay there? Cushion his head with a jersey? I mean, it's like, what do we do? to have your calm nature and expertise was just such a cool thing to have and to watch. I learned a lot that day from how to handle a crash. It was pretty cool to. I'm sure you've had your fair share of medical experiences out on the bike.
I have, for whatever reason, they seem to find me, or I seem to find them. And it's my way of giving back. I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, and I remember that one guy was pretty messed up. We were kind of like, yeah, you probably want to go get checked out in the hospital. But,
yeah.
All
right, well, we've got some rapid fire questions to introduce you a little more to Dean. Favorite local ride?
Mill Creek Trail, up Rattlesnake, one direction or the other after that. Go up the canyon or out Grandeur. I love that ride.
Cool. Favorite place to travel?
I've been fortunate to do a fair bit of travel, a lot of it with my bike. Maui is near the top of the list. Also taken my bike to Italy a couple of times, and that was pretty awesome.
Cool.
So those two I can't pick one over the other.
When we ask most memorable bike experience, what comes to mind?
Goodness, there's so many of them. Probably the most memorable was when I did the Maratona Gran Fondo in Italy.
Wow. What is that? Can you talk about it?
Yeah, so the Maratona it starts in a town called Corvara. The course is basically a big figure of 8. You go up one climb, down the backside, do a loop the loop's about 30 miles. You come back down to Corvara, go back up the first climb, and then get to the top and turn left instead of right. It's the big climb is one called the oh gosh, I'm blanking on the name right now, but it's 15,000 feet of climbing and 90 miles, and the whole ride is just like riding in a postcard. It's just so incredibly beautiful. It's just hard to even describe.
Nice. Awesome.
Dude, I'm going to share most memorable ride with Dean.
Okay.
So I know which one you're going to talk about, Stu. This was an awesome one too.
Dean is always there at the Scott Miles. We prepare for Crusher, and riding with Dean on some of these long gravel rides that get up over the 10,000 vert and long days. And we start hearing and learning about, it was introduced by Dave Sharp earlier, that Dean makes this great pizza in his backyard. Well, during this entire day's ride of The Reckoning by Scotty Miles, we start to think about Dino's Pizza would be the perfect for this business, for Dino to start on the side. And what are we all doing on our bikes for this long instead of just in the backyard of Dino's Pizza? And so when you combine the Dino with the Italian accent and Dino's cooking style, it just it got me through a couple of the Scotty Miles reckonings. Dino on the bike, thinking about the pizza, but I'm still yet to make it to Dino's backyard for this pizza, and I'm still excited about it.
It's going to happen. We've talked about this, Chip. Gosh, heck, that ride was probably 4 years ago now, I think. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen this summer.
Yeah,
hold awesome. Me to it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to.
Dean, I remember I've been to your home many times. What about how I can't remember what we were there for, but your whole front porch was littered with candy and goodies and a basket. I can't remember. Is that always out, or was that just the holidays that it's out?
It's always out. That's my wife. That's my wife.
So cool.
She puts candy on the front porch. We've got a big cabinet just inside the entryway. That's literally, you name the candy, it's in a jar in that cabinet. We counted one time. They're like, I don't know, 80 or 100 jars of candy. I mean, it's literally like walking into a candy store.
Very fun. Dean, did you grow up here? Anything about your early family I mean, you said you played hockey, but maybe just share a little bit about your background, where you came from.
Sure. Grew up in Sugar House on Logan Avenue, 2030, 17th South. Went to Highland High School, Highland Rams. Um, went to the University of Utah, after went on mission in 1980, I think it was, to 1982. Went to University of Utah, graduated from there, went to medical school in San Antonio, Texas, and then stayed in San Antonio for my orthopedics training for 5 years after that, and then moved home. And we've lived in Holiday ever since.
Nice.
So
And
when my athletic stuff as a kid was, I liked to play basketball. I did a lot of that, but never competitively, just with the guys, and if you can call ward basketball competitively. And then played hockey. So
nice.
Oh, when I was on the Highland rugby team once upon a time, way back when.
Nice. Very cool. And what transitioned you into cycling, endurance sports? Can you talk about that, how that started?
Yeah, I always liked to run. And so, during medical school and so forth, if I had a free time to do something, I'd go for a run. When I got into practice, I was so busy for the first few years of my practice, I didn't do really anything. And then I realized, okay, I got to start doing something, or I'm going to just, turn into a tub of goo. So I started riding a bike and running and doing both a little bit. One of my buddies challenged me to do a triathlon with him, and so I did a couple of triathlons. But I can't swim very well. In fact, I'm horrible at swimming. And oh, by the way, I get seasick when I'm in the water, so that was a problem. I'd get out of the water and have to throw up on the side of the boat ramp, and so I gave the triathlon thing up. I ran exclusively for a few years, qualified for and did Boston, which was probably the pinnacle of my running career. And then my knees fell apart, and so I was forced to just ride bikes, which I'm fine with because I always really loved riding my bike. So there you
Very
go.
cool. Yeah. Any particular reason what draws you to cycling? Why do you love it?
Um, I love being outside. I do the trainer because I have to, but I love being outside. I love the social aspects of riding. Being with the guys, being with the group is as important to me as the actual workout itself.
Hmm.
And the freedom, and gosh, you get home and you've ridden the 30 miles and it's still 7 in the morning and you still have the day ahead of you. It keeps me going.
Nice.
So awesome. Dean, I was introduced to you for the most part through my brother-in-laws who work a little bit with you. And just a call out to Dean's profession and what Dean does, spoken of so highly amongst those inside the medical field. Both my brother-in-laws are both surgeons as well. And it was really fun to connect those dots and get to know you through them on a bike.
Well, and Drew and Don are such good guys, and Don and I have done, I don't know how many, stake treks and trump through the dusty trails of
Oh,
Wyoming, and
wow.
had a great time. That's where I really got to know Don, and then Drew, similar ways. I got to know Drew through Don, and then through some of my other surgeon buddies, and yeah, it's just those are those relationships I really enjoy. They're great guys.
Such a strong community.
Yeah.
Dean, Sharp alluded that you're making sweet lemonade out of lemons. Do you want to talk about that for a minute? I know that Chip told me last summer about your diagnosis, but do you want to talk about it for a minute?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know about the sweet lemonade part of things. Um, so last summer I was riding up. In fact, it was on one of the Emmy rides, and you hit that the last little steeper part, and everybody puts the gas on, and it turns into a bit of a race. And I just had no gas in the tank, and I turned to, I think I was riding next to AJ, and I just said, AJ, something's not right here. I got no gas in the tank. And I was trying to get ready for Leadville and just was going in reverse. And I kept thinking, well, I just need to rest more, and I'd rest more, and I wouldn't feel any better. And I was going slower and slower and feeling worse and worse. Finally went in and saw my internist. We talked about things. He ordered some blood tests, and ultimately, I've been diagnosed with a cancer called multiple myeloma. And so the day I was diagnosed was July 30th, I think, maybe July 31st. And so I've been in treatment, started chemotherapy a few weeks after that, and I've been doing chemotherapy ever since. And there you go. It's certainly been a complete change of pace. I've been riding most of the time through it. Haven't really felt like $100, that's for sure. But I've been getting by. You haven't seen me on Zwift yet, I don't think, because I'm afraid I'm just like the race today. That looked like it would have been such a fun event, but I know I would have been the first or second guy out, and then I'm just sitting there pedaling. So I've been trying to kind of follow a training road program and just kind of stick with intervals and, kind of doing what I can do and keeping the pedals turning.
Oh, cool. We through Destiny, me and Dean met one time on Three Towers a little later in the fall. And your attitude, Dean, was just really cool that you were like, listen, I can be out here, so I'm going to be out here. I don't know what other people think they'll do if they ever get a diagnosis like this, but I was just really inspired by your attitude of like, okay, well, maybe my lungs burn a little bit, but I'm going to be out here doing what I love. Can you talk about that? Like your attitude towards, I'm not saying, I don't know what it will be like if this happened, but it appears as though you're like, listen, I can go out, so I'm going out. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sue, that day was really cool. Cause I mean, I was really struggling. I mean, and we were between the second and third tower? I think we were.
Yeah.
And I'm, that part where it gets a little steep, and I'm just like, I'm walking. There was no riding up it. And all of a sudden I hear somebody chugging behind me, and lo and behold, it was you, and you were riding solo and I was riding solo. So fortunately we hit the top. I was a little bit behind you because I was walking, but we were able to finish the ride together. And that was awesome. I love that. And yeah, I've got cancer and I haven't felt great, but I'm going to keep living my life the best I can. I'm not going to let it slow me down. And it has slowed me down, but I'm not going to let it make me go sit in the couch and, feel sorry for myself. That's not going to accomplish anything. Not that I'm trying to accomplish anything, but I'm going to keep living my life and doing the things I enjoy doing. I haven't taken much time off work. I've had to take a little bit. I got COVID, oh, by the way, during the whole thing. And so
That's
that
right.
didn't help. But I'm doing my best to just keep living my life as normally as possible and keep going. Long term, this cancer is not going away. It's going to be something that I'm going to have to deal with for forever. But hopefully, I've actually lately started to feel a fair bit better and have a little bit more energy on the bike, and so that's encouraging. So
yeah,
just plugging away.
I've been on a ride with Dean where throughout this going up immigration, and rode back a little bit with Dean, and something that has changed my outlook is what Dean shared, and that was just that every day is so special, and that morning as the sun is coming up and touching immigration, and you're on your bike and you feel the breeze and the sunlight is hitting you. And Dean just reminded me the importance of, every day is so special. And that goes in part with what Sharp is mentioning, making lemonade out of it. But Dean, yeah, truly inspirational in that sense and the outlook.
Well, thanks, Chip. I appreciate that. But I really do. I mean, it means so much to me to just be out there and have you guys share the morning with me and, be with the guys and being able to keep up with the guys and whatnot. For me, that's what it's all about. I can't, I don't have any, agenda as far as winning races and whatnot. For me, that's not the point. The point is, everything other than that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very
just
cool.
to be out there with you guys is it's much appreciated. It really is.
Nice,
Yeah.
Dean. You've had a lifetime riding bikes, managing a busy life, family life. Can you talk about that for a minute? Just how how you've been able to put everything together, being a surgeon, being a great cyclist, a good man that Sharp talked about, in church, all of it. Can you talk about how you manage that and how it all comes together?
It's all just about doing your best to kind of keep one foot in front of the other and try not to get too overwhelmed. If you look at everything all combined, it gets overwhelming, right? And so you do your best to manage your time as judiciously as possible. Fortunately and or maybe unfortunately, I don't know, a byproduct of medical training is you learn how to get by without sleeping a ton or catch naps. Here in my office, I on days when I'm in the office, I will take a half hour out during lunchtime and literally lay down on the floor on a camping pad and catch a nap. But I get up early in the morning and first priority, first thing in the morning is get on, do something. Most of the time is getting on my bike. And during the day, you just do what you got to do to get everything taken care of, and just prioritize one event from the next and try to get them all taken care of. Sometimes successfully and sometimes not, right? You get the end of the day, it's like, well, I didn't get that done, but don't let it bug you and, move on to tomorrow.
Dean, on that note, I would say that most listening live a lifestyle that is similar in this sense, and you've had more experience than us, and we look for the advice to parents that are on the bike trying to live a fun outdoors adventurous time on the bike, at the same time working full-time stressful work, at the same time managing a family and raising kids. You've excelled in all the above, in all aspects of life. In that sense, you have excelled. And what is the advice for the parents on the team?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I learned from all of you guys, and if I can contribute anything to your journeys, I'm more than happy to do so. I don't know that I've got any great, fabulous advice or, wow, this is the secret. I've yet to find the secret. I'm sorry, Chip. Probably the best advice anybody has given me was the one, and this I think was in a conference talk, basically said in any marriage there's the person who's right and the person who's wrong, and brethren, your wife is always right, something along those lines.
I'm gonna edit that out, Dean. I'm gonna edit that out.
That's perfect.
That's okay if you do.
I'm just kidding. Nice.
I think that I would take that advice well.
Very funny.
And I would say that 99.9% of the time, in my case, that is the case.
That is true.
Yeah. I think that's another Holland quote.
Dean, Chip and I have done obviously Leadville. You've done Leadville. It's something that is becoming kind of I think it's growing momentum with the team, guys wanting to try it and be a part of it. Any stories or memories or advice for guys training for Leadville that you've learned over your 4 attempts?
Yeah, I love that race, or the event, maybe. As far as advice, a couple of things. I think I gave you this advice, Stu. Wear a cap underneath your helmet that has a brim on it, because coming down power line into the sun with the dust going up is really kind of freaky because you can't see. And the brim on the hat to keep the sun out of your eyes is helpful. I don't know that I've got any specific training or tips or advice about how to do the race, because I'm still trying to figure that out myself. But it's really hard and it's really high, and the elevation I don't think you can prepare for very well. You just kind of have to show up and go, right? I don't know.
What do you think? What do you think it is, Dean, the untouchable aspect of this event that draws people to come back?
Um,
I mean, it's ridiculous. Why are you going back 4 and 5 times?
I don't know. It is. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. And frankly, it's potentially a little bit dangerous, right? I mean, it's really taxing on the system. And the allure of the event, I think the kind of the history, the legend of it. You know, you still have Ken Clover there. You know, telling everybody they got to dig deeper, and he's standing on the side of the trail halfway up the Columbine climb and yelling at you to go faster. And it's just kind of the fact that, you know, it's so cool to be there. And, you know, you're not standing on the start line, but you're standing there around the starting corral, around the really fast guys and people you read about in the magazines or, you know, on the internet, whatever. You know, Lachlan Morton or Dave Weens, those kind of guys. And to be able to, I don't know, just to be able to be there and be part of that event. And Leadville is such an interesting little kind of eclectic town. It's just kind of a fun place to be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
agree. What do you think, Chip?
Yeah.
I think it's something that a lot of us, most of us on the team have, and that is just it is really interesting to see what you can accomplish, right? Because it's the toughest one on the mountain bike, and it is just, and I say it's tougher than LOTOJA for sure as well. And therefore it's like, can I do this? And now there's another level. Can I do this in under 9 hours? And that keeps you going through the season. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, I think the lore of that stupid big belt buckle is real, right? I mean, I got 4 silver belt buckles that are way too big, and I want the gold one that's even bigger that I'll never wear. I'll never put on a belt in my life. But I think having that little trophy out there as a carrot it's got a real magnetism to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about, is it the belt buckle? Is it where this place is? Is it the history? And I think that this race is, I mean, I think it's fun because of what Leadville has told you it is. You know, they do such a great job teaching the people who are doing it all about why it is special to be there. One of the things I love is that, you know, the town was saved by the race, right? So Ken always talks about how the town was going under and they closed the mines and they had to come up with an idea to save the town. And like that is a cool thing to be a part of, is going up there to like, and now, I mean, when we were there in August, I think they said they had like 9 weekends worth of events up in Leadville that kind of fuel the economy of that dumpy little town. So anyway, it's fun.
you
All
know
right,
what else?
Dean.
I think you're right. I think it's cool because they tell you it's cool.
Yep.
And I think because anything else you do on the bike the rest of the year is easy.
No kidding.
Yes. Yes.
That's fun.
Uh,
Cool.
Dean, as what is at this point in your life motivating you each day, as you wake up each morning, and your biggest motivations?
You know, that's interesting question, Stu, or Chip, um, I mean, obviously my perspective is I've had kind of a big life change here, right? So instead of getting up in the morning thinking, okay, how can I get faster on the bike? It's now perhaps, well, what can I do today to help me get through the day and feel better and be able to do the things I need to do? And the bike is still very much part of that. And I pretty much always feel better throughout the day if I've been on the bike to start it. And so it's the bike has gone from being, I don't know, maybe a carrot out there that, you know, kind of the challenge of getting faster and getting ready for Leadville or whatever. it's gone from that to being the motivator to help me, maintain my life style and my energy, and being able to get me through the things that I need to do as a doc, as a husband, as a father, and whatnot. So it's gone from being almost kind of a therapeutic sort of thing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Completely.
Dean, there's a lot of young guys on the team, a lot of young cyclists listening to this. And as you look back and think about, man, they're just getting into it, what advice would you give to maybe those younger riders? It could be bike advice or parenting advice, job advice, anything looking back. You and somebody are just on a ride together and they're like, what advice do you have for me, Doc? What would you say?
Just enjoy the journey. Have fun. Whatever you're doing, have fun at it. Be it riding the bike, being a dad, being, at your work, whatever. Have fun. And if it gets to the point where riding a bike is becoming a second job for you, or you're getting so serious about training and getting faster, or that's just going to end up, you're going to end up burning out and hating the bike, or whatever it is you're doing. So enjoy the journey and take a deep breath, and maybe slow down a little bit and smell the flowers along the way, and just make sure you're having fun at doing whatever you're doing.
Nice. You hear that, young? You hear that, young guys? Just have fun. Okay. Very cool. Dean, when you look forward to 2024, is your outlook the same as the advice that you just gave to young guys? Is that what you're hoping to do? Is just have fun and enjoy it, or do you have other big plans or goals for besides Leadville? Maybe we can get Leadville in. Did you register?
So I did register for Leadville because I had to roll it over from this year. That being said, so part of my cancer treatment, I'm headed towards getting a bone marrow transplant in, looks like the middle of March.
Okay.
And so that's gonna be a pretty tough event right there, and going to basically take over everything. And that's when I'm going to be really sick. I'm going to lose a bunch of weight. I'm going to get chemotherapy, lose all my hair, all that stuff. Not that I got a lot to lose, but what a little bit I have will be gone. And the first goal I have is team camp is that the middle of April, what, 14th, 15th, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to beat a team camp and just show up. I might not even be able to be on a bike by then, but that's my first goal. I want to beat a team camp, and hang out with my friends, and hopefully I can. Beyond that, I don't think I'm going to be able to do Leadville this year. I think I'm just going to have to keep deferring it and rolling it over from year to year, and hopefully in 25 I'll be able to actually do it. So there you go. I'm not quite sure what else is going to be on the horizon, because this deal in March is going to basically govern whatever follows after it, I think.
Yeah.
Europe and later on in the summer, and that's kind of tentatively on the radar, but again, I'm just not quite sure until I actually, get through the thing in March.
Yeah. Great goal, Dean. That is inspiring, and this team, all your friends are wishing the best for you. It's I know it's silly to say, what happens as you come out on the other side, but it's pretty incredible to watch. I would never wish it on anyone, but it's incredible to be here and hear you and watch how you're doing it. So thanks for showing us how.
Yeah, Dean.
Well, thanks, Stu. I go ahead, Joe.
I would just add to that you've got the full team support and love as you head into the month of March. I mean, it is your biggest event that you've had off or on the bike. And so you have a very large pit crew, if you will, on your side as you go into March.
Well, thanks, Jeff. I've felt that, and it really has been overwhelming how many people have reached out. Wow, what can we do? What do you need? And unfortunately, I don't really need much, and there's really nothing anybody can do. But just the expressions really mean a lot, and frankly, I've been overwhelmed by it. It's been it's been awesome. It really has been awesome.
Yeah. Well, you deserve it, Dean. I mean, I hope that is a good show of what a great man you are, how much people love you. And like Dave said up here, he's a rock, a wingman, and a genuine friend. Such a cool thing. I love that. Way to go, Dave.
He's a pretty good guy. He's a pretty good guy to have as a friend.
I agree.
Yeah.
All righty, Dean. Did we miss anything?
I don't think so. You guys have eulogized me plenty. much appreciated. And again, I mean, I hope you feel how much I appreciate being part of the team. Riding with the guys is it really helps me, and I just love having so many of you guys as my friends and being able to hang out with you. It means a lot. So thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Dean. Thanks for taking the time. I know you're busy. Chip, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, everybody. We'll see you next time.
All right, guys.
Okay.